What's going on YouTube? So I've got a sizzling hot economic take for you guys, or really just my thoughts on the current state of the economy. So I went to Rutgers. I made a minor in economics. That was my minor. My major was computer science, but I always loved economics. I love talking about it. I love studying it. I just didn't have the time to dedicate a full major to it, but looking back, I probably should have. However, my thoughts are this on the economy. So right now we're in quarter three. So if we see another weak job report after quarter three, I'm gonna say we're headed for some bad waters, a potential recession, things like that. But that's a lot. A lot of other things are at play that are beneficial right now. The crypto market's up, stock market's at all-time highs. Gee, I wonder why? Because inflation's so high. Um, but that's starting to come down. That's coming down to below the Fed's target, so it's good to see. But given the fact that things went up so much, a small cut isn't as great as we'd like. But circling back to the quarters and the numbers and the job reports. So I'm thinking after quarter two, we had a pretty weak job report. I'm just gonna keep it focused on the economics, not so much the politics, like the firing of the Bureau of Labor Statistics head. And the reasoning behind that, that's kind of like separate from the economics. I'm just going to go with the raw data that was given, whether it's right or wrong. This is kind of just the numbers that I noticed. So off the bat, you're seeing a pretty weak report. I think it was like 77,000 jobs or 72,000 jobs, something like that was reported. So really underwhelming. But we had a 3% increase in our GDP. That's great, but it doesn't really fucking matter to like people in the middle class if they can't get jobs. And there's like, who cares about GDP at that point? Um, so I'm thinking after the tariffs were passed in April, now we're going to start to see the effects, like really see the macro effects of that coming up at the end of quarter three, going into quarter four. So I would say quarter three and four are going to be the more important indicators of how we're doing as a nation and how our economy is headed. So that's just my take. As always in economics, there's winners and losers because there's trade-offs in everything that happens. So, when one side wins, another side obviously loses. Kind of just the nature of the beast. So yeah, if you found this interesting, drop a comment. We have rate cuts coming up. I think I'm going to make a separate video on that. Really when it happens, because who knows when it will happen. They're saying possibly in September, but we'll see. So thanks for watching, guys. Drop a comment.